Thank you, Jean-Charles, and thank you for this opportunity to present some data we are willing to share. Can you see my slide? And
Yes, I can see your slide.
thank you. So first, I will talk about Yanport and what are our goal and what kind of data we are scraping or using to develop software. I will show you very quickly. It's not a research presentation. Some algorithms and models we are developing, and there are links to a blog post if you want more information, or you can send me an email, and I will end with some a project we have to share some real estate indicators. We started to think about it in September, and we are interested in your feedback if there are some needs. So first, Yanport has been created in 2013. The goal is to help real estate professionals to make the right and faster decision. We develop software by consolidating and enhancing data relevant to the real estate sector and for all kind of professional real estate agencies. They need to find new mandate, or they need to do a competitor analysis, real estate administrator for market analysis and custom studies, investors and property developers. The main point here is that most of our customers need custom analysis or custom studies. Custom in the type, a property type, a period, or area, a geographical area. The data and sources, so there are two blocks of data. The first one, which may interest you most, is from web scraping, online real estate listing, from most platforms in France. We are working for now only in France. DVF, which are actual transaction, and census statistics from inside building permits, and some other data which are open data. If we look at ads and real estate ads, we have an historic of more than 300 million stat ads, which are complex objects. It's not just surface and price. There are text, images, missing data, anomalies, where I will talk about it in a few slides. It's mostly on the sale market, 70%, and the rest for the rent market. There are really few life annuity, and mostly houses, apartments, but we have also parking, land, and commercial offices or other commercial listing, but we don't exploit them in our softwares. And we update our data several times each day. So it's not high frequency in the trading meaning, but it's high frequency for economic data, I think. Here are two screenshots from our software for custom market analysis. I'm interested in Paris, and I want to focus on three custom area zone. So sorry, our software are only in French, so everything is in French here. But can see that the customer can choose three areas the light blue, the mid blue, and dark blue, and compare them in terms of price increase or here decrease since a few months. For ads, DVFs, or actual transaction. Here we have a map of the price, but we can plot also negotiation margin or gross rental yield, time on market, or stock evolution for the transaction, rent, and newly built transaction market. So the point here is that our customer want to detect heterogeneity between the area. They're not. It's not enough to have aggregate data for Paris. So they want to have sub area, which could be larger or smaller than a district. In my case, it was larger. So we can see that there is a slowdown, beginning of slowdown since a few months, even if in the first area it's more stable. We could split by property type if you're more interested in a room in smaller flats, for example, or by energy consumption also, which are available in ads most of the time. Now I would like to focus on a few algorithms we are developing. The first step is the first one is anomaly detection. As I said, ads are complex data and they are missing data, but also voluntary or involuntary mistakes in ads, which are impacting prices, time on market, all statistics, but also models for valuation. If we want to use some information from ads for a dynamic model, for example, or other algorithm. I will not go too deep within the algorithm, but it's a hybrid framework using a natural language processing to extract information from text and more traditional statistical models to detect anomaly. But there are two examples to use case very interesting, I think. The first one is for apartment sharing in the rent market. So, so on the left, you can see the evolution of the median price for a flat with more 5 room or more in Lille, in France. And the gross data is much lower than, so it's the price per square meters. The gross data is much lower, and most and there are some break because of the apartment sharing in some listings. For example, typically you will have the rent of only one room and the surface of the whole apartment. This is why the price is lower. So there is a clear impact on the statistics. And on the right side, you can see location error or location mistakes, which are sometimes voluntary, I think, mostly for large cities and the selling of houses. So this is an example with Paris, and you can see the whole distribution is the price distribution of all all houses for sale in Paris. And you can see that it's bimodal with the left of the distribution most anomalies. So for these two kind of anomalies, we use both price deviation and natural language processing algorithm, because you have information in the description, for example, a house which is at 1 hour by train from Montparnasse train station, and it's declared in Paris. I would like to I will switch this part to, but let me be quick on this part because it's important for our customers. As I said, they need to build a custom analysis, and they need to build it on request. So we cannot use traditional clustering area algorithm, because the request may change on a geographical point of view, the address, the property type, sometimes interested in apartments, sometimes in houses, and the period, of course. So we need a dynamic and customized algorithm. We use socioeconomics data, so from INSEE, Census Statistics, and price dynamics to build a final area. There is an example in Paris, so it's in the 18th district, sorry, and it's the starting point is the small triangle, which is in the Goutte d'Or, and on the left you can see the red district, which is in part Montmartre, and in the south the 9th district. So of course you could build an analysis on the whole district, but this is a district with very different markets around the Goutte d'Or and around Montmartre, for example. So we build this algorithm to create an area for the analysis in which we could have more homogeneous statistics and more reliable statistics. We have some other model, for example, for no casting actual transaction using prices and other information from ads. We have also a model to estimate negotiation margin, valuation of prices, rent, gross rental yield. For example, I had a link where we assess the impact of energy consumption and at district level in several cities in France. And for the work in progress, we are working on the market stress index, and we are working on extracting information from images, for example, the type of room, if it's a bathroom or kitchen, for example, and standing. And also, we are working on developing price and rent indices. No, I can talk a bit more about the indicators, real estate indicators we are considering to make publicly available, maybe of interest for journalists, researchers, institutions, I think. The type of indicators first, the price and rent. average or a median for a given period, time and market. So the stock also, global, incoming and outgoing properties, and maybe in the future market stress and price indices. The markets both on the sale, hold and newly built properties, and the rent market, and on the geographical coverage and aggregates. Of course, we will not make publicly all our database and at the desegregated level, but on aggregates for the whole country, France, for regions, departments, and larger cities. And on the frequency, we are thinking about monthly frequency since 2016. So the roadmap for this project currently since September, it's available on request. We make it available for a press article published a few weeks ago in Le Figaro. And it may be used by the Banque de France, by Jean-Charles, for an analysis on a current risk. And by the end of the year, beginning of next year, we'll choosing a solution, whether we will make it available on our website or other platforms, in which format, and implement it next year. So if you have any question or any suggestion about those data we're considering to make available, please ask.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ludovic. This presentation that offers nice perspectives to work on the French market. Perhaps I don't know if there are some questions, because I guess what you said, for example, about energy makes the connection with the presentation of Peter. Perhaps if you want to transpose what Peter and his team did on the index for Belgium, perhaps with the data that you may have on energy, we could try to replicate more or less to see the, let's say, in the flow of transactions, what is the proportion of high quality energy or low quality energy dwellings. Perhaps that would be the kind of things that would be possible. Also, if you could say a word about the market stress index, what is contained in this index? But apart from that, are there some questions or remark or suggestion to use your data in the future by in the audience? No. So perhaps you can say a few words about what is available on energy characteristic, and what you mean by the market stress index. Could you tell a little bit more, because it seems interesting, but would like to know more about this index.
Okay, so about energy consumption, we did a similar exercise, but using ads, not actual transaction, in the sense that we estimate a hedonic model, and we estimate the impact of lower performance on the price at a given point in time. It was 2022, but at district level in several 10 cities, 10 large cities in France, including Paris. We could replicate this exercise in order to assess the impact of energy consumption in the time. I think we could be able to do it once we finished our price and rent indices, because it could have an impact on rent too, because we are considering building a portfolio of properties with several level of energy consumption. So we could assess it with price indices. So if we make price indices available at some aggregate cities or departments, you could assess this impact. Regarding market stress index, the goal is to have the relative a sense of the relative market power of supply and demand from HADS, information used in HADS. So of course, we use the evolution of stock, incoming and outgoing HADS. We used time on market, evolution of time on market, and evolution of the price changes, because since we are updating HADS several times a day, we can assess the evolution of the price during the publication period. And those three indicators are assessed compared to an equilibrium level, and depending on the size of the difference and the level of the difference compared to the equilibrium level, we can say that the market in more stress or not. So I don't have figures of regarding the market stress index, but I could produce some example if needed.
Okay, perfect. But we are close to the end. The end was planned at 6:15. It's 6:12. So perhaps we can take the last 2 or 3 minutes. If you have some suggestion for the theme of the next conference next year, I'm open to your proposals. I mean, I can take several of them, and then we can try to see which ones would fit better. But I'm open to your proposals. Last year, your suggestion was about emerging markets, but I mean, we can open to your proposals. It's fully open. Or if you don't have ideas this evening because it's getting a bit late, of course, you can send me proposals by email. It's not necessarily today. We have a few months ahead to take the decision. So of course it's still time. Any ideas, proposals? Alexandre, yes, please.
Yeah, maybe it's also to make a link to what was previously mentioned about energy. I think it could be quite interesting to look at I mean, the impact of energy policies and also climate mitigation policies on the real estate markets. Also, I've seen more on the Earth observation side that some people have been using land surface temperature data to get proxies of building efficiency. So I don't know if inviting people who worked on these topics would be maybe a good fit.
Okay. Yes, it can be an interesting idea indeed. Okay, and of course, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, quickly, on our side, we plan to work on local energy modeling to get local energy consumption data for households. So for some countries, we get data, but there are huge data gaps for many countries. So it's something that is would be of interest for us. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yes, indeed. We can, yes, interesting proposal. Any other proposals before we close the conference? No. So my last words will be to thank a lot all the presenters and all the participants. I think that this was a nice conference with lots of very interesting and very dense stuff. which were both useful and at the frontier of what can be done in terms of housing and construction, that give insights on the ideas for future work. As Alexandre said, there have been a few words about energy, so indeed that could be an interesting area. About emerging markets, the nice thing too is that we start to replicate, to expand to emerging and developing economies what has been done for developed countries, and that's one of the big interest of the alternative data. It's to be able to cover in a more or less homogeneous way all the countries. If you take the case, for example, of what has been done with the cement plants or with web scrapping, these are nice examples of use of this kind of techniques. That was, I think, what we can keep from the conference is that the data gap is closing thanks to these alternative techniques. And in the next few weeks or months, we will also keep you informed about the data, the papers, and the programs that will be posted on the website, so that you can have access to them and so that this data can be shared widely. So the presentation will be shared on the net. So we'll send you a mail with the synthesis of the links to the presentation and the papers. And again, many thanks to all the presenters, and we keep in touch in the next few months, especially for the next conference. Donc, je vais le faire finir en français. Merci beaucoup et une prochaine fois. Thanks a lot and see you soon. Bye.
Merci.
Thank you, Jean-Charles.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.